All right, in this video, we're going to download the tools that we need for the course. So PHP is a very web-oriented language, right? Chances are if you want to learn PHP, it's because you want to use it on a website. You know, PHP powers WordPress, which I don't know, it's like 70% of all the internet is a WordPress website. Uh, but outside of WordPress, you can use PHP just on regular non-WordPress sites as well. But you need a web server to do that, some sort of hosting solution. You know, there's Heroku, Amazon AWS. You know, if you want to spin up your own servers, there's web hosting solutions like HostGator, DigitalOcean, things like that. We're not going to do any of that in this course. We're just going to run PHP locally on our computer. But to do that, we need a local web server. So that's what we're going to download and install in this video. So I'm on a Windows computer. If you're on a Linux or a Mac, you should be able to follow along. There are versions of this software for Linux and Mac. They're named slightly different things, and I'll talk about that in a second. But you can download those yourself. I won't go through installing them. You can figure it out. That's not that hard. But you should be able to follow along. For everybody else, if you're on a Windows computer, you should be able to follow along just fine. So let's head over to Google and type in Wamp, W-A-M-P. And the first thing that pops up is this Wamp server /en for English. That's what we need. And this is what we're going to be using. Now, this has Apache, which is a web server. It has the PHP programming language itself. And it has MySQL, which is a nice free database. So that's cool. And this is one file. We'll download and install it, and it will install all of these things for us. It's really nice. Now, if you're on a Linux or a Mac, the software you want is called LAMP for Linux and MAMP for Mac. So you can Google those and download them and install them yourself. They work pretty much the same way. All of this stuff works in the background. So once we install it and turn it on, we don't have to do anything with it, and it'll just work. So let's scroll down here and install this thing, download it. We want the 64-bit version. Chances are you have a 64-bit computer. Everybody's computer is 64-bit these days. So let's go ahead and click this, and we get this little warning thing. You can read through here. This doesn't really apply to us. So head over here to this download directly link and click it. And let's see. We get all these options. We just want this green button right here, download the latest version of Wamp server. You can click that. And get this little countdown thing. It should start down. Okay, so you can save this anywhere on your computer. I'm just going to save it on my desktop. Click save. And it is 336 megabytes. So depending on your internet connection, it may download quick or slowly. Looks like mine's going very slowly today for some reason. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this video until it finishes downloading, and we'll pick it up right after that. Okay, so it looks like we've finished downloading, so we can come down here and just click on this, or you can find it on your desktop and double click it there. So let's run this. Pull this over. Okay, so select language. We want English. Okay, so this is just a basic license agreement. You can read through there and accept it. Click next. And here's a little bit of sort of instructions on how to use this. It's not a bad idea to go through here and just kind of browse this very quickly. I'm not going to do that in this video. You can read it if you're interested. I'm just going to go ahead and click next. So it wants us to install this in the C drive WAMP 64 directory. Now remember that because we'll need to know that a little bit later. Click next. Do we want a shortcut? Sure. Okay, so we can just click install. And this is going to take a few minutes, so I'm just going to pause the video again, and we'll pick it up as soon as it finishes doing its thing. Okay, so we're almost finished. We're getting this weird little message here that says, is Internet Explorer your default browser? Now, I don't know anybody that uses Internet Explorer. I haven't used it in decades. But this is irrelevant. We don't need to use Internet Explorer. So just click no. Don't go in here and add your current browser. If you use Chrome or Firefox, you don't need to designate that. This will work just fine without doing that. So we can just click no here. And same thing here with Notepad. It wants to know our default text editor. We're not going to use Notepad. I'm going to be using Sublime Text. We'll talk about that in a bit. But likewise, you don't have to put in your current text editor. We can just click no for that one as well. So finishing up, about 30 seconds left here. Okay. Again, here's just a little bit more, some instructions on how to use it and stuff like that. You can read through this. It's actually kind of useful. I'm not going to read through it in this video. I'll leave that to you if you're interested. But now we can just click next, and we can see it's installed all these things: Apache, PHP 5, 7, 7.1, and 7.2. We're going to use 7.2, the latest version. MySQL, and this MariaDB, which is just another database that we don't really care about, at least for the purposes of this video. So now we can go ahead and click finish, and we are done. So in the next video, we'll fire this up and start to use it.